everyone, it's Akansha Dimri, the editor-chief and founder of Tech Funding News. We are a London-based media outlet, news media outlet actually, which cover tech startups, scale-ups, VCs. And today we are at the IFGS 2025 in the perfect Guildhall and covering the power players in the UK Fintech scene. And we have with us Jaidev Janardana, who's the CEO of Zopa Bank. Oh my God, the power player of Fintech. How are you doing, Jaidev?
Very good. It's never been called a power player, so that's a new one on me. But thank you for having me.
That's us, and I think I've been personally following your journey for a very long time because I have this personal interest into the Europe and UK's diverse crowd, which have been doing great leadership achievements. So, but I think our viewers and our readers would like to know more about you. So, could you share your personal journey and everything about? How did you reach to become the CEO of Zopa Bank?
Right.
What was there before?
Okay. I mean, I was born in India. I grew up there. My parents worked for different parts.
Where in India?
I was born in Kochi, so I'm from Kerala, down in
Okay.
the south. But I've kind of lived all around India. So Delhi, Ahmedabad, Bangalore.
Okay.
I did my engineering there. Worked for a telco for a very short while. Figured out engineering, particularly telco, was not what I wanted to do. Went to business school, which is how I got into financial services. I then, after business school in India, moved to the US, working for then a US credit card company, which turned into a bank, one called Capital One. So I spent 6 years there, moved to the UK with
So
the
were you in New York? East
DC,
Coast?
DC,
Okay.
yeah, just outside DC. So their headquarters in McLean. Then I moved to the UK in 2008 with Capital One. This was the early parts of the financial crisis, and I was managing credit risk.
And this was which year?
2008.
Okay.
This was a financial crisis, and I was managing credit risk for the UK business, which was a great learning experience. So spent another 6 years with them before moving to Zopa in 2014. So that's kind of my
Oh
story.
wow!
Yeah.
So you literally moved to UK for Zopa?
No, I moved with Capital One in 2008.
Okay.
6 years with them, and in 2014 moved to Zopa.
And how has everything been with Zopa for so long? And tell us about Zopa more. How did you guys come up with the idea, or what was the initial founding mission like?
So I think Zopa was founded, it was actually the world's first peer-to-peer lender. That was back in 2005. I joined in 2014 to drive the business to scale. And the last 10 to 12 years that I've had at Zopa, I can think of that in 4 phases. The first phase was when we were operating as a peer-to-peer lender. We were really focused on building a world-class lending business, which really focused on how we do a lot of products, which is asking customers, what do they want, and we were providing a loan, and what people wanted to know is whether they're going to get it or not, and what their monthly payment was.
Okay.
And weirdly, in the UK, it would take typically banks 2 to 3 days to answer those 2 questions. And we try to turn that around the head and saying, can we, with the least amount of customer effort, answer those 2 questions? And we started using AI to automate credit decisions. And over a period of time, within 5 seconds, a customer can know whether they're going to get a loan from us or not, and if so, what the pricing is. All our credit decisions are instantaneous. So that was the first couple of years, really building a great lending business. Then in 2016, we decided that peer-to-peer was maybe not expansive enough for ambition. We wanted to do more with our customers, offer them more products. So embarked on a journey on getting a banking license, which took us about 3.5 years. We got our banking license in the midst of the first lockdown, actually, of COVID.
Some timing over there.
It is some timing. That is not how we thought we would do that. In fact, I remember when I got the license, we couldn't get together as a team to celebrate because it was against the rules. So I had to literally meet parts of my team in different instances to actually celebrate.
But yeah, I did meetings in park that time.
Exactly. So this was in June 2020, which for me started the third phase of Zopa, which was as a bank. And the bank was initially launched to really focusing on the borrowing and savings needs of consumers in the UK. So today, more than almost 1.5 million customers use us for their borrowing and savings needs. And they've left almost 5.5 billion of their money with us as savings. They have borrowed today more than about 3.2 billion in outstanding in terms of borrowing. So that was kind of phase 3 of Zopa, which is really building up this digital bank that was meeting the borrowing and savings needs. Phase 4, which I think is where we are at today, is really a step into everyday banking. So we are going beyond borrowing and savings, and this year we want to launch a current account and to our customers so that they can do their everyday banking with us, as well as offer them investment products. So we hope to do that this year and really give our customers a more holistic banking experience than we've done before.
So are you going into consumer banking is what I understand, right?
Yeah, I mean, what we do is consumer lending, consumer savings, so it's all consumers, yeah. But we would also do current accounts.
So you're getting into the main lead of competitors like Monzo and Revolut and Wise.
Yes, I mean, I'm not quite sure Wise, but yes. So in the past, I don't think Monzo and Revolut and us have competed that much. We've all taken share from incumbents. With our launch of the current account, we would have a product that is competing with them. But I still continue to believe that the bigger competition are the big incumbents, right? Across all the segments that you talk about, the big 5-6 banks in the UK have 70-80% market share. So I still don't see the competition as Monzo or Revolut. I see them more as HSBCs in the marketplace. And that's where, when we talk to our customers, that's where they still have their primary banking relationship with. That's where when they borrow from us, take their money to, that's where they pay us from. So it's that bank that we want to dislodge, not as much Revolut or
That's
Monzo.
super interesting, and that is some timing again, because there is a climate crisis over here in terms of the fintech market, and I just want to understand the strategy behind it and the gaps that you're trying to fill up, which already exist. How is Zopa going to do that?
Yeah. So if I think about UK customers, right?
Give us some example. That would be lovely. A story.
What we see is that customers often are multi-bank, and they would receive the salary in one bank. They would have an investment somewhere else. They would spend on typically a Monzo or Revolut, and so on and so forth. They're multi-bank. They would borrow from us, and so on, right? So, and the reason they're doing all of this is that it's very hard for them to get, good value products that are easy to use. Right, it's that ease and value is the thing that they are after, and it's incredibly hard for them to get that. And when we look at current accounts in general, I think it's that combination that is missing. So I think some of the neobanks today have great offerings that are easy to use. I think they do take the ease bucket, but they don't provide value, right? So none of the banks actually today provide you value for actually banking with them and leaving your money with them. Particularly in today's interest rate environment, that seems odd to me. And in an environment where customers are still, trying to maximize every penny they have, I do feel there is a gap in the current account market of ease and value. There's also a gap in terms of banks accepting that customers are actually multi-banked, and how can they create, help these customers manage their multi-bank relationship in a more easy way. So I think those are the gaps we are looking to solve, which is provide a current account which, when launched, hopefully is the highest value current account for customers, and also makes it easy for them to manage their multiple banking relationships.
I would like to add over here, I think trust is a very important factor as a customer myself to keep large sum of money into a bank. I would rather trust on a HSBC rather than I would trust on a Wise or a Monzo. So that, and also what value I get from that bank, especially in terms of increasing or interest.
Exactly.
That is something I would focus on as well as a customer.
Brilliant. So then, as soon as our product is launched, we will invite you in because you would definitely get better interest rates with us than with others. So I think when we talk internally about this, we often say our aspiration is to be, as easy as a neobank, as trusted as an incumbent, but more helpful and fairer than both. So that's what we're trying to build, and that's the aim.
I think a genuine bank gap is what you're trying to fill up over there. And I think you're doing a great job with that, because we just got the presses from Zopa Bank that you have doubled your profitability. So if you could talk about that a bit, and how did that happen, and what are the forecasts you have for the future?
So if I look at our performance last year, it was a great year for us. It's largely driven by having more customers and those customers using us more, right? So our customer numbers grew by about 28%, 30%. Thus revenue grew by 30%. And because we are a digital bank, our costs don't rise as much. A lot of our systems and processes are automated, which means more falls into the bottom line, and thus we double profits. I'd expect kind of that rate of growth to continue in the near term, provided the macroeconomy remains somewhat where it is today. So, unless there are huge disruptions to the macroeconomy, I would expect that our trend of growth we should maintain that into this year and next as well.
Well, very well, and congratulations to you. And also, I would like to know that if you've raised funding in the past ever, and will you raise it ever? Because you're already a unicorn, is what I understand.
Yes, so we last raised capital in December of last year.
And that was how much?
We raised around 80 million euros.
Okay.
Is that right? Yep. It's correct. So it's about 80 million euros. Yes, so we are a profitable bank, so we don't need to raise capital, but we are also a very fast-growing bank. And with banking, the more you grow, you have to hold a certain percentage of your assets as capital. So often our growth outstrips our profit generation. So I would expect that we will continue to raise capital, maybe next year or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think growth capital is very different to the profits, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I'm a founder as well. I understand that
Yeah.
a bit now, but I'm a very new founder.
Yeah.
But who have been your investors? I want to get more perspective of your investors and who are the investors who are investing in fintech right now, if it's the right product.
Yeah. So I think there are a variety of investors who invest in fintech. The ones who have invested in us, I think, tend to have a few things common about them.
Were they from US or UK or Europe?
All over the world, I would say.
Interesting. How many investors?
Many. So I think greater than 10. Definitively, I don't know the exact number on top of the head. But if I think of my top 4 or 5 investors, it's American, Japanese, 2 of them are European. Yeah, so it's a pretty diverse.
That's so interesting.
Diverse investor group, so they're usually patient capital. They're more focused on building the business for the long term, which I find, and they kind of believe in the promise of fintech and what we're doing with our customers.
That's interesting because I understand that the UK Fintech funding landscape right now are meeting so many founders and they're like, it's a crisis over here, it's the worst year. And what do you think about the environment and the geopolitical situation right now? Is it that which is not contributing to getting funding, or are the products very fragmented?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think, is funding as easy as it was in 2021? No. But maybe funding should never have been as easy as it was in 2021.
Is it a market correction which is happening?
I think there has been a market correction, but I do think that funding is available if you're profitable and if you're growing. And I think so we raised capital, and we've seen many of your peers also raise capital over the last 12 months or so. So I think funding is available. I think what is happening in the geopolitical thing, I think potentially can be an opportunity. When I talk to a lot of investors, they talk about rebalancing their portfolio with some non-US investments. And if we play our cards well, we could be a beneficiary of that. So yeah.
Very quickly, I want to add over here that AI is something which is completely revolutionizing, and there is an AI washing happening in the fintech scene and all the other categories. So what will be your advice, or what is the implementation by Zopa Bank when it comes to AI? And at the same time, I would
So I think, since ChatGPT, people talk about AI as if it's a very new thing. And some of it is a new thing in terms of the generative AI side of things is new. But predictive AI has been there for a long time. We first implemented predictive AI back in 2015 for credit decisioning, as I said. Today, we are on the 4th or 5th generation of those models. All our credit decisions are entirely automated. We use AI predictive AI for fraud. We use predictive AI for pricing. We use predictive AI for actually customer service, chatbots. So there are already a large existing implementations of AI. Generative AI, though, does unlock other possibilities. Today, we use it to improve productivity of our employees. Our developers often use it to write code. We are using it as almost a safety net in terms of AI analyzing customer interactions and figuring out if there were aspects of vulnerability that were exposed there, where we could then go back to the customer and help them in a better way. So it's some of those things where we are, I think, using it to really help understand customers better, and then saying, was there more we should have done or could have done, and then following up with that. So that's another kind of use of AI. I see over the next, I don't know if it'll take a year, 2 years, something like that, that AI becomes the primary way of how we interact with banks, and will allow for, I think, a more richer experience.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand that. And because we don't have much time,
Yeah.
so I will just crack on to my next question,
Sure.
which is the diversity of inclusion in the fintech space. How challenging it is in the UK fintech scene right now, and how is Zopa Bank helping?
Yeah. So I would say that actually fintech is a good place for diversity and inclusion. It has led the way for financial services in general. And there are a number of things we do as Zopa Bank to help. I think, we're signatories of the Women in Finance Charter, and easily, we're one of the better performers there. We're almost 40% plus of our kind of senior leadership, as defined by this charter, were women. So that was, I think, a good achievement from us there. We are partnering with Innovate Finance for Pride in Fintech, and that's something that actually Lucas here is driving as well. So that's another initiative we support. Again, partnering with Innovate Finance, we celebrate Women in Fintech, and we are a sponsor of that. We also work a lot with actually bringing women, particularly into technology. So we partner with Code First Girls, which is a micro degree, and we've now done, this is our third year where we've got kind of multiple intakes, and we've seen that those the women who come in have really progressed as well. So lots of places where I think we are supportive, but in general, I feel financial services is fintech specifically is a leader in financial services in terms of how diversity and inclusion is actually playing out.
Yeah, I think with AI implementation also happening, a lot of people from different backgrounds, apart from the females, also will come into it. Very quickly, the last quick fire questions which we have for you,
Sure.
which are quite surprising,
Right.
but there are very few, and there is no prize for it.
Okay.
And we'll make sure we have something for you next year.
Sure, thank you.
But very quickly, the first one. So what and how would you describe fintech in the UK right now in one word?
Exciting.
Oh wow, I have got this all the last three interviews, they said the same thing, but very quickly the second one, and that is, as a leadership, what would be the one piece of advice you would give to people in fintech?
I think, well, it's not maybe one, it's a few things, but I think focus on the customer, solve some real needs, connect with your people.
Yeah, very good one. And if you could instantly solve one major challenge in the fintech right now, tomorrow maybe, what would that be?
I think better solutions for financial crime, fighting financial crime.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's something to be thought about.
Yeah.
And last one, what is the book you're reading right now, or just read, finished?
I finished recently a book called Nexus. It's by Noah Harari. It's about how AI is going to impact humanity in general. I think it's at times a depressing, but overall an actually encouraging book as well. So that's the one I would recommend.
That's a very nice one. I have not heard about it, and I would definitely read it. Thank you so much, Jaidev, for your time. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and listening to Jaidev, the CEO of Zopa Bank. And I'll see you in the next episode of IFGS 2025. This is Akansha Dimbri from Tech Funding News signing off. Thanks.